ones that like the center post.
Good evening. I'll now call the City of Cannon Falls City Council meeting for Wednesday, August the 3rd to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Berg.
Here.
Gallops.
Here.
Holst.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
Schoblum.
Here.
And Mayor Robinson.
Here. All please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City Council meeting. At this time, the chair will take a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Merle, second by Rod. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to item 5 this evening, public input. Citizens may speak to issues not on the agenda. Before speaking, please give your name and address for the minutes, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi,
Hi, babe.
I'm the certain somebody that was named in the local paper a couple weeks ago for committing a felony by your Public Works Director's wife. Now, if you remember, the last time that I came here and spoke is when I came from a Public Works meeting in which he had accused his men of lying, being liars, to be exact. I know his men. I know they're not. I know I did not commit a crime, but yet I've been accused of it. How stupid is this going to get? Any ideas?
I don't know, you tell me.
Well, it's getting pretty stupid. Now I'd like to know where we're going from here, because I don't take kindly to being accused of a felony I did not commit. It is a felony, you know. Are you aware of that?
What's the felony? I don't know, I didn't read the article, babe.
Threatening a public official. He's your employee. Threatening one of your employees is a felony. You know that, sir?
Not familiar with that specific part of it, babe, no.
Well, maybe we should look up the rule book, because I know for a fact it is. I was charged with one when I was on the city council. I was exonerated because I didn't do it then. But it cost me some cash, lots of cash, thousands. Now, I don't take kindly to it, and I'd like to know what you're going to do about it.
I'm not going to do anything about it.
Well, don't you think you ought to find out where she got her information from?
That's not my business. That's between you and her. It's not
Really?
Between, yeah, it's not
Well,
between me and you.
I don't know her, and I've never met her.
No, it's-
Couldn't pick her up out of a lineup. But I know who's employed by you.
That's fine.
You think it's fine that we're being accused of felonies with absolutely no basis? No fact. And that's fine? What are we going to do when it's you, Mayor?
Hey, I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
You bet. You're a big boy, and you can handle her. So we just go around trashing people.
Well, I think you're the
That's
one.
okay.
You're the one that started it, so
I started what, sir?
you're the one that started all the writing. So, I mean, and started trash. You're the one that started trashing people, so.
First of all, the Beacon has been editing my letters, even though they're factual. They will not allow me to call people incompetent, even if they are, and I can prove it. But to be called, to be accused of a felony? Come on, really?
I'd have to read the article because I don't read the trash
Yeah.
that's going on.
Well, now you're calling it trash.
No, I'm not calling her trash. I'm just calling the articles trash.
I understand that what she's writing is inaccurate, and
I'm not
it's
saying
trash.
Well,
I get that. And believe me, I'm a big boy. I'm here for a reason. I'm trying to enlighten you folks to what's actually going on here. Because I don't think, if the chief of police doesn't know it's a felony, how the hell would you know?
yep, I don't think.
I'm trying to inform you, sir.
Okay, well, have a good day.
All right.
Anybody else wishing to approach the council under public input?
Good evening, Glenn Schultz. I live at 1025 State Street, West Cannon Falls, in Goodhue County, and I'm a member of the SMART committee, which really works well with me. But anyway, SMART is Southeastern Minnesota Association for Regional Trails, and I was appointed by the Goodhue County Park Commission. I've been on this board for a little over 4 years, and we meet quarterly, and the 18th of August, we're going to be meeting at 2:30 at Hannah's Bend Park, and one of the discussions will be with the Milltown Trail coming out of Goodhue County Park and meeting City of Cannon Falls Park. And I would like to ask any of you people to come to this meeting. I know that the DNR is always there. The DOT is always there. Many times, Explore Minnesota is there. And we have representatives from the 11 counties, which is Southeastern Minnesota Association for Regional Trails, and a lot of their city and county employees come to these meetings. So it's always a fun time. It's a good meeting. It lasts an hour and a half, and I represent, of course, on this Goodhue County, Cannon Valley Trail, and always the city of Cannon Falls. So I think it would be fun and see what's going to happen. So with that, I'll let you go. And
I was wondering if you have any flyers or anything, or
no.
information.
Normally, the meetings just go out to the representatives in the area, and since it's going to be in Cannon Falls, when we've gone to Wabasha, Rochester, and that, a lot of their city people are at meetings. And so I just took it upon myself to invite you people down because it's in the city of Cannon Falls. This is the first time we have met in the city. Normally it's been out at Goodhue County Park.
Could you tell me the date again?
August 18th, Thursday, August 18th at 2:30. So,
Got it.
And I've asked, notified our chamber president, and Pat invited her also. So, with that, I think it should be an interesting meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn. Anybody else wishing to address the council this evening under public input? Seeing as there's no one else, we will move on to item 6, Resolution 2209, certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes, and we will be holding a public hearing. Linnell?
Thank you, Mayor. Cities have the opportunity to collect unpaid utility charges through property owners' taxes, and we as a city have elected to do that quarterly. And as part of that requirement, we have to hold a public hearing to give those property owners an opportunity to speak with regard to those assessments or pending assessments. So that's what we're here to do this evening.
Okay. And it looks like the amount's kind of staying steady. I mean, it's not up above where it was, but it's come down and kind of staying steady in that area. Okay. This time, we will open up the public hearing on resolution. What? Okay. We'll open up the public hearing for certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes. Is there anybody wishing to address the council for the public hearing? Is there anyone wishing to address the council under the public hearing? Is there anyone wishing to address the council under the public hearing? Seeing as there is no one, we will now move to close the public hearing, and the chair will take a motion to adopt Resolution 2209, resolution certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes.
So moved. Second?
Have a motion by Merle. Who was the second?
It doesn't matter.
Kathy. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Moves us on to item 7 this evening, the consent agenda. For those folks at home, I'll read the consent agenda. Items of this area of the agenda may be adopted or they may be removed and placed on the business area of the agenda for discussion purposes before approving. Item A is adjusting correct claims for accounting period ending July the 22nd, 2016. Item B are the meeting minutes for July 19th, 2016 City Council meeting. Item C is hire an unscheduled part-time ambulance employee. Item D is Resolution 2210, accepting monetary donation from Gemini. Item E is Resolution 2211, accepting monetary donation from Casey Cree through Gemini Incorporated Nonprofit Donation Fund. Item F, Resolution 2212, accepting monetary donations in memory of Elaine Wilcox. Item G, set budget workshop meeting. Item H, hire part-time motor vehicle employee. Item I, approve pay request for number 3 SM Hedges for 2016 street improvements. Item J is the Warsaw Township fire coverage. Item K, approve partial release of PUD subdivision agreement in South Pines Addition. And item L, approve proposal to install water service line. Are there any items anybody wishes to bring down? Seeing as there are none, Chair will take a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Merle. A second by Rod. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Moves us on to item 8, council business. First one will be item A, providing notice of intent to consider issuance of cable franchise. Ron?
Well, as you're well aware, you've been interested in having another cable franchise company come in. There has been a company that's expressed an interest, and so in speaking with our cable attorney, Bob Vose, this is the process that this is where we start the process, is by publishing the notice of intent to issue a cable franchise. So basically the motion is to provide that notice, and then the second half of the motion is we will need legal representation, of which the applicant or applicants, if there's 2 of them or more, would have to supply, and that's a $7,500 application fee. If the amount goes over that of our fees and it's not expected to, then we would be looking for additional reimbursement from the company, additional collection, or if it's less than $7,500, we would reimburse the difference.
And I did notice in there that Kennedy and Graven have a stipulation in there that it will not go over 7,500 or up to 7,500.
I got one question on that. I mean, I think it's great. But, okay, our current one, which we have been negotiating, and it's kind of a stalemate, which is fine right now. Let's say we get this new one, and like they're, the upfront money and all this other good stuff. I know that's a ways down the road, and let's say we get them in first, and then the other one wants to, continue or whatever. They have to match it, I
They
believe?
do. By law, you've got to equal, or I'm not sure how the wording goes, but it's, they have to provide equal services
Okay. Which is good for us.
For equal money,
for equal money.
so it would cost the same whether
So
we got the second
our franchise fee that we ask for would be the same, consistent with both companies, for instance.
Yeah,
Yes, the franchise
Just that
fee.
part.
franchise fee.
just that part,
Yep.
Got it.
yeah. So, it's a good thing.
Yep. The competition's good.
Do we need a motion?
Yep.
For this?
I was getting ready to do that. Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I got them. Okay, so the motion is to approve, provide notice of the council's intent to consider issuance of a cable franchise, and part 2 is to approve Kennedy and Graven's proposal to provide legal services to assist with the competitive cable franchise process.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a motion by Merle, second by Rod. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, do we need to approve item B, or is that already done under? Okay, that's what I thought. Just making sure. Item C, tonight is apply for state deed for tax forfeited land. As you know, we were looking at the dog park down on some land just north of Subway and Best Buy Liquors there. When the discussion started going last week, Greg Isaacson at county engineer determined this was a tax forfeited parcel, and for us to be able to get that, we need to do the conditional use deed and get it moved back in there. Also, it's part of the area where the overpass is expected to come by, and the other thing with that was that a couple years ago, the reason we have to go this route is because a couple years ago we voted to let that piece go. And so this is just to be able to move that forward and to be able to get that part back in the city, and then we can work on the dog park and the Highway 52 improvements. Any further discussion on it? If not, Chair will take a motion to adopt resolution 2213. Yeah, no.
So moved.
Okay, I got a motion by Merle, second by Lynn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Moves us on to item D, is request conveyance of state parcels. Ron?
Well, it's been discussed at a few different staff meetings that one of the parcels down in the VFW American Legion parking lot area is actually belonged by the state of Minnesota. Parking's been an issue downtown, as you're well aware, and then with the addition of the brewery coming in, it's probably going to be more of an issue. And what we thought, because of the parcels that are shown on that map, are both state parcels, that it would be best to clear up ownership of that, get the state out of it in case, you know, we do want to do something, ultimately be developed as, we don't have any issues that we have to mess with MnDOT on a project that comes up, and then all of a sudden we find out we need MnDOT's approval. So the request is to request a conveyance of those two parcels to the city.
And one of those parcels is the park, correct? Or portion of the park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So how did MnDOT ever get those in the first place?
Well, back
Was
to
that
that-
when they did the state
Yeah,
highway?
State highway, years and years and years ago.
So I guess I wasn't clear when I read the information. When we say we have to clear, and I agree we need to clear it up, what is the cost to the city of doing that, or is that just an agreement that we can make with, I mean, I don't see
Well,
any benefit for
at this time, we
MnDOT.
don't know what the fee is, what the cost is going to be. But right now, what we need to do is, in order to move forward, and I've actually started the process, he said, because the MnDOT rep said I can stop it at any time. So he didn't know for sure, because he didn't handle, the guy I was talking to doesn't handle the acquisition specifically or the cost. So we'll find out what that is before we ultimately receive conveyance.
Seems stupid, but.
Yeah, but it's
I
a
get
state
it.
thing. Unfortunately, that's what we got to go through to be able to get that back into our control so that we can do what we need to do with that.
And if you wanted to add to that motion that,
That it-
contingent upon
Well,
a reasonable,
I think
whatever.
we should know what the cost would be to the city to do it. I mean, it's obviously been there on the books for who knows how long time, I mean, I don't know. There should be some kind of agreement that we can come with the MnDOT to be a reasonable transfer of property,
I would hope so.
so.
And again, we don't have to accept the property if the costs are too high.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I second it.
I have a motion by Lynn and a second by Kathy to approve the requesting for the convey of ownership of the parcels 52-100, 1580, and 52-100, 4150 to the city of Cannon Falls. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. That moves us on to reports. We'll start with Mr. Maroney.
Ron mentioned the brewery related to the parking issues downtown. Just report to the council that the Economic Development Authority has closed on their loan, which has allowed Tillian Brewing Company to move forward with the ordering of the brewing equipment, and they're expecting that that'll be delivered probably in the next 4 weeks or so, they hope. So they are moving forward. They've purchased the building, they've ordered the equipment, and they're excited to now move forward with the design of the building itself, particularly the interior where the brewing equipment will end up. So we're moving forward, taking a little time, but we're moving forward. We close the loan, so the brewery is continuing on their way.
Thanks, Steve.
Just an update on the street project. You approved PAYAP 3 tonight in the council. Tomorrow morning, weather permitting, they'll start paving the first lift of blacktop on Hoffman Street and 7th and work their way west. Hoffman will be ready for pavement all the way to Dow. And they've got about a week of utility work left on Mill, and then they'll start prepping that for curb. And the middle of next week, they'll move down to the one block of State Street we're doing between 6th and the river and start putting things back together. So it's starting to look like a street again out there.
Yep. Tom?
You'll notice over the next couple of months that Aspenland Tree Service is doing some pretty aggressive tree trimming for XL. XL has a policy, I do believe it's still 5 years, that when they got something cut, they don't want it to come back within 5 years. So as you can see, there's some pretty aggressive trimming. The good side of that was we have a lot of extra wood chips down at the compost site. If anybody wants wood chips, they're certainly welcome to have those. And I'm also a reminder that the compost site is open 7 days a week for those that don't know out in the public.
Thanks, Tom. Chief?
Couple of things. First, in the public comment section, obviously there was question of whether something was felony level of crime or not. I'm unfamiliar with that as a statute. I haven't handled a case in my career relative to that. In quickly looking, the closest thing I can find that would be non-law enforcement for a public official would be a gross misdemeanor. I'll continue to look deeper. I actually didn't expect council to wrap up their business this fast. Obviously, if it involves law enforcement, courts, corrections, that type of thing, those are felonies, but I'll dig deeper to provide council with an answer if so desired. Yesterday was our normal council evening. Thank you, council, for moving it to tonight. We went out for a national night out. We had 12 parties. I haven't been able to make all the parties in a number of years, and I was able to last night. So I very much appreciate you allowing me to do that. The parties were great. Visited with quite a few of our residents. Everybody seemed to be having a great time. The officers in the fire department and the ambulance broke up into 3 different groups and each took 4 parties. I tried to tackle all of them. Took a little longer than I thought, but fortunately parties were still going when I got there. Other than that, we wrapped up the fireman's dance, and we're already starting to think about returning to school, which seems like it should be a long ways away, but it's not.
I think the first day is the next time we meet.
Yep, you start seeing some information coming out from us on watching for kids walking to school and back into that routines. So that's all I have.
Ron?
I'll give you an update on the 3rd Street Bridge, the historical 3rd Street Bridge project. you recall we approved submittal of an application for the legacy grant for the design of that, design and plans. The initial run-through with appropriate staff and so forth at the state level, they sent it back to us to do some revisions to kind of tell the story a little better, so it got embellished quite a bit, and it was resubmitted last week. So we'll find out. I'm not sure what the time frame is on it, but just a few weeks, I believe.
Linnell?
I just wanted to remind the council and the public that the candidate filing period for the city council positions are now open. They opened yesterday, and they are open until the 16th of August.
Merle?
If you want to be on the
I have one thing. At the Public Works meeting, we met with a representative that is looking at investing in the community with a Grand Stay Hotel on the south end of the town, which would require a public road being placed in there. And after a lot of discussion and stuff, we came in an agreement that we need to have a work session with the council and the appropriate parties, and obviously public can be invited to that, so that we can discuss exactly what the cost would be if we put in that public road, what the access points would be. We talked about financing it with the tax abatement, and we could cover all of that so everybody would be on the same page to determine if we want to we feel as a council this would be a good investment in wanting to move forward. The development group that is looking at investing here would like to move this project forward and would like to start it this fall yet. So I would like to make a recommendation that we hold a work session. I briefly talked with the mayor in regards to what would be appropriate dates, and so I'll let you cover that.
I think we may set it up after the September 6th council meeting. Would probably be a good date for that.
Being with the next council meeting, we're talking about budget session after the council meeting, so if, so I'd like to, well, I don't know if we have to make a motion, you just have to set the meeting.
Just have to set the meeting.
I don't anticipate it being a very long meeting. I mean, they covered a lot of information, discussion within a half hour. I guess it would just depend on additional questions and stuff. But
shouldn't be a problem.
But I think it would be good for everybody to be on the same page before you make a decision as a council.
Yep. I agree. Kathy?
I have nothing.
Jay?
Nothing.
Morris?
Just that WCCO was down here, and I think that was a big boost for Cannon Falls. I mean, they were happy. They were really giving it to the people, so I thank them for doing that. Good thing.
Yep, it was really good. I'd like to say thanks to the chamber for taking charge and doing that. That was their thing. They're the ones that funded it, so there were no city funds in that. It was great to have them down here. I really looked good on the radio that day with Dave Lee. You know, it was good. You know, they even got some of our high school students involved in the broadcast, which one of our young gentlemen that's going to be a ninth grader next year was on there and did a great job on the radio, and he told everybody to come watch the Bombers this year, so said they're going to be good. So Friday nights when they start playing at John Birch Park, we need to be there. Other than that, I have nothing else at this time. Chair will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.